What's up, guys? Welcome back to the garage. Gerald here with you. This is going to be somewhat of a movie review of the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but it's more so going to be a discussion because it's okay to still really like a movie, but not necessarily think it is an end-all be-all masterpiece. Let's discuss. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to talk a little bit about the new Across the Spider-Verse Spider-Man film. Of course, a sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, which is a film I gave a perfect 5 out of 5 over on LETTERBOXD. This film, however, is not quite as good as Into the Spider-Verse in my opinion. In my opinion, guys. Let me start with some of the cons of this movie. This is spoiler free, by the way. So it's going to be kind of hard, but I'm not going to give anything away in terms of plot points or plot twists or things that happen in the movie. I'm just going to give you my general problems with the film, and then I'll talk about the things that I loved about it, which far outweigh these problems. So for me, the first hour of the film was basically flawless. I loved the central focus of the movie that we got around Miles, and particularly the expansion of Gwen's character in this movie, and how the kind of Spider-Verses connect and intersect with each other. We got that even more so than we did in Into the Spider-Verse in this film. But after that first hour, the film kind of loses its way in terms of its focal point. It kind of goes off in different directions. Not only that, we lose what we had been following in the first half of the movie. It never really comes back to those storylines centered around these main characters. It more so takes this kind of springboard approach to what eventually we're going to get later next year in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I don't think it's a mystery to anyone that this is essentially a trilogy. We had Into, Across, and then next year we're getting Beyond the Spider-Verse to kind of sum up the Lord Miller trilogy, which I think is going to be one of probably the best trilogies ever, honestly. And it's definitely going to be one of the best animated trilogies of all time. So when we get to that last act of the film, really the last hour or so of the movie, it was just a little all over the place for me. And because this is a springboard to a conclusion that we're going to get in part 3, it kind of felt unfinished, in my opinion. It left me kind of not fulfilled. Despite the visual stunning effects, this movie was just an absolute marvel, no pun intended, to look at. It was brilliantly executed, and it was some of the best animation I've literally ever seen in my life. It was even improved on the animation from Into the Spider-Verse as well. Like I said, I enjoyed that movie more because I feel like Into the Spider-Verse can stand on its own. It does feel like a cohesive story with a beginning, middle, and end. Even though we know part 2 and part 3 are coming, you could watch that movie and be fulfilled, which I was a couple years ago when I saw it. But watching Across the Spider-Verse, though I loved it, and though I'm really looking forward to part 3, it just didn't quite hit those heights for me that the first one did. Now, with all these qualms out of the way, I just want to say I love the movie, guys. I really liked it. It's in my top 10 of the year so far. It's the best animated movie of the year so far, and that's okay. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 or a 5 out of 5 like I did for the original film, but I really liked it. I've seen a lot of people that have come out of the gate, people who saw it early, people who went to see it opening night, opening weekend, early screenings, and they're like, masterpiece, the best animated film of all time, the best superhero film of all time I've seen thrown out there. Now, I respect if those are genuine opinions, and if you've actually taken the time to think through the hundreds and hundreds of comic book adaptations that have been put onto film, and you actually went through that, and you think this is the best of those, that's fine. You put in the research, you've given your opinion. I don't agree with that. I think that this is a very good film that falls short in certain areas, and I wouldn't put it anywhere near my discussion of the best superhero films of all time. That's me personally. I would, however, throw a movie like Into the Spider-Verse in that equation, or Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, which happens to be still my favorite iteration of Spider-Man. But you look at movies like Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, or Tim Burton's Batman from 1989, or even the old school Superman films, especially Superman 2, whether you're talking about the Donner cut or otherwise. Those are some of the best comic book related films, in my opinion, of all time, and they always will be because of their groundbreaking stature in the genre. I just wanted to give you a quick review of Across the Spider Verse. I really like it, but I feel like a lot of people are kind of coming down on me and other people because they're not saying it's a masterpiece or it's the greatest of all time. And I think it's okay to have different levels of enjoyment for a film, still being able to critique it. I think it is an excellent film. I think it's a little bit too long. If about 15 or 20 minutes had been shaved out of that middle portion that I talked about, I would have also given this a much higher score. I want to know what you thought of Across the Spider-Verse. Please let me know down in the comments below. My score out of 100 for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is going to be an 81. I do recommend that you see it. It's family friendly. Take your kids to see it. It's a great time. It's visually stunning. They will absolutely love it. Let me know what you thought down in the comments, and please subscribe to this channel. I'll be back next time in this garage or in another garage in another universe. I'll see you then.